Good evening. Let me move myself to about there. That's good. Hello, College English. Once again, this is Mr. Donahue. We're talking about the Critic's Craft. This is part three. First part of this work today is you're going to focus on metaphor and simile in poetry. Metaphors and simile are probably the most commonly used types of figurative language that you're going to encounter. Uh, if you speak English, then you should understand metaphor. English is a very metaphoric language. So use your innate knowledge of the language to help you. That's better. To help you understand some of the metaphors that poets might use. So let's look at simile first, right? We're looking here on the sheet, simile first, right? Poetry communicates through the use of figurative language. That's language we don't understand in the literal sense. Simile is a direct comparison of two things that are not alike. My love is like a red, red rose. A literal comparison might read as, if we're translating that line, my love is beautiful and fresh. So, if on St. Valentine's Day in February you say to your significant other, my love for you is beautiful and fresh, they'll look at you like, huh? If you say so. But if you say, my love is like a red, red rose, it's much more emotional. And that's what similes, metaphors, often in poetry, are meant to heighten the emotional impact. Metaphor implies similarities between two unrelated subjects. That's where poets make us think a little bit more. These types of comparison can lead to surprising reactions from readers and writers. If you're writing about a poem and you're surprised about the comparison that the poet is forcing you to make, by all means explore that. So let's look at Romeo and Juliet. I know we've all read Romeo and Juliet in freshman year in one way or shape or form. So from the opening of the balcony scene, but soft. What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. So, as the statement says here, solving a metaphor can be a lot like solving a math equation, or solving a Sudoku puzzle, or a what's that, Wordle, things like that. You have to kind of go through your knowledge of the language. And when you look at the table down here, right, you have types of metaphors. Sometimes both subjects are named. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the sun. It is right? It is the sun. It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Juliet equals the sun. One object is named. Juliet shines, right? So when we look back up, arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon who is already sick and paled over with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Juliet shines. That's what that's saying. That whole big, long metaphor. Juliet shines. She shines fair, more fair than the moon. Juliet shines, right? A equals B. Juliet equals the sun. A equals B. Same model. Juliet shines. Therefore, Juliet is, and it ends with, why is the moon envious? Here I'd be asking you around the classroom. You'd be raising your hands. You'd be saying, "Ooh, Mr. Donahue, that means Juliet is more fair than the moon." You would be correct. The Star by Sarah Teasdale. I'll read this quickly, and then I'll send you off to work. A white star is a white star born in the evening glow looked to the round green world below, and saw a pool in a wooded place that held like a jewel from her mirrored face. She said to the pool, "O wondrous deep, I love you, I give you my light to keep. Oh, more profound than the moving sea that never has shown myself to me. Oh, fathomless as sky is far, hold forever your tremulous star." But out of the woods, as night grew cold, a brown pig came to the little pool, and grunted and splashed and waded in, and the deepest place but reached its chin. The water gurgled with tender glee, the mud churned up in turbidity. The star grew pale and hid her face in a bit of floating cloud like lace. Forced to compare and contrast the two stanzas. Count the lines. Look at the rhyme scheme. We'll talk about that next semester. I want you to write a brief response for maybe 3, maybe 5 sentences, something like that, in which you answer the question of the what are the functions of the metaphors and the similes in the poem